guys, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video I'm going to be doing a quick and easy kind of pastel painting tutorial. Now for today's tutorial I'm going to be using the Blick Artist Soft Pastels. These really are my favorite student grade kind of beginner pastels, and I do have a full review for those pastels, so I'll link that up in the iCards and in the description box in case you're interested. They are kind of like an economy pro pastel, even though they're called professional artist pastels. I'd say they're, you know, just a little bit somewhere in between is what I'd say, but they're very affordable, and you can get a half stick set of 120 for around, sometimes around $85 actually, or between $85 and $110. That's kind of an investment to get started, but they are a huge step up from the Faber Castell soft pastels, like these type of student grade. But if this is all you had, you could most certainly use these and make it work. And I think that today's tutorial is going to be extremely beginner friendly. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. Now I have already sketched on incredibly lightly with a General's white charcoal pencil, but I realized that you couldn't really see it because I was so light with the sketch. But also, like I said, I thought this would be a very beginner friendly tutorial, so I wanted to draw it out super quickly with you and give you an idea how I draw it. If you're wondering why I've got this little strip off to the side of watercolor swatches, it's because my camera has issues where my footage is always either too dark or too light, and I'm not 100% sure why that is, but this helps to white balance the camera and helps regulate the light a little bit more. So up here, I'm just going to put down a sheet of glassine under my hand. I like to do that as I work. I'm just going to start off with the one orchid on the stem. And I'm going to start off by drawing the stem. Now I'm putting some movement, some gesture into this. I'm not making it stick straight. And then I'm going to connect a little orchid. So this is a really simple flower to draw. Just a couple petals. I'm going to do a quick kind of elephant ear shape here. Think of this like Dumbo's ears. Okay, super easy. And then I'm going to put, because this flower is facing that way, little jelly bean shape next to it, and kind of a reverse jelly bean shape next to that. And on the other side, another little elephant ear. And don't make it perfect. As I've said 1,000 times in these videos, nature's not perfect, and neither are we. So then I'm going to put a little beard on that orchid. Super quick. And I'm going to connect another little petal, and then one more up there. See how quick and easy? Super fast. And I like using charcoal to sketch on. You can also use black charcoal, but I feel like that muddies the work, so I like the white charcoal, which is actually just white chalk, I think. Now for the little orchid facing us, I'm going to go ahead and do a very similar thing. I'm going to start off actually with a little circle in the middle, and I'm going to come out and do another little elephant ear. Same thing on the other side. These are a little bit flatter. Maybe that's not quite round enough. And I'm gonna make some flatter ones. Another little point there. I want to widen that a little, I think, actually. And then I'm gonna do some little, I don't know what you would call this shape, and I'm not good with identifying parts of the flower. And then I've got another little beard. And that's it. That's all I need to get started. That's absolutely all I need to get started. So that is really super simple, and I think beginners would have no problem with that at all. This petal's kind of tucked in and behind there. Alright, so I'm going to start off with some purple. This is a dark purple. I'm going to put this down so I can rest my hand on it and not smear it. This is like a purple 4, I think is the name of this one, but the shade name doesn't matter. It's just like a grape kind of purple. And whatever brand of pastels that you have is absolutely fine. Feel free to use whatever you have. It's worth painting no matter what you can afford, okay? So never let anybody tell you that it's not. And I'm going to block in my darkest value. And listen, you don't even have to do purple orchids if you don't want to. What's most important is value in art. So if you want to do pink orchids or even yellow orchids or even white orchids, whatever color you want to do, just make sure you get those values right and you're going to be fine. This is a piece of paper that I made myself. I used watercolor paper as the substrate, cotton watercolor paper for archival purposes, and then I added my own mixture on top of it, which is also archival and light fast. Because I like to make my own papers from time to time, and I filmed a tutorial on this, I don't know, maybe 25 years ago on a potato. No, I'm kidding. But like a really long time ago, and shameful amount of time has gone by and I still have not edited the footage together. And I'm not sure how many people would be interested in seeing that, but I've used that homemade paper for a lot of projects, like a lot, and I really do love it. So I'm just going to get that in. That's my darkest color. And I'm going to take the second darkest now. This is Purple 3 from the Blick line, in case you're interested, but again, it's not that important. But if you were following along with the same pastels, that's what I have here. I'm just kind of blending out. Oh, I wanted to ask you guys, would anybody be interested in some alcohol marker tutorials? I have some, and I don't get enough use out of them. Alcohol markers are one of those things I feel like it's kind of a double-edged sword with me, like a love-hate relationship. I like working with them, but I feel like if I'm going to invest my time, then I want the work to last. This is Pansy Violet 4, I believe, that I have now, but it's just a warmer red violet. That's all, nothing fancy. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I feel about alcohol markers. Like most of them, though Winsor & Newton I know has some pigment markers that are light, fast, and archival. So that's good. I mean, they do make them some, but for the most part, alcohol markers are very fugitive inks and dyes. It's meant more for like illustrators and reproductive work. You know, work that's going to be reproduced in printmaking and stuff like that. And that's absolutely fine, but I don't do that. So just going around, getting that in there in a couple places. This is a nice, loose, pretty orchid, and I really like this. Yeah, these pastels aren't bad at all. I'm going to take the next one down, which would be Pansy Violet 3, put that in there. Now, you can blend if you want. To blend or not to blend, that is completely up to you and totally personal preference. For a looser look, you might just leave it pure strokes of color, and I'd encourage you to try it a couple different ways. If you do want to blend though, you can use a blending stump. They work really well. Or you could use your fingers, although for tighter spaces, you know, I'd use that blending stump. Or you can use a color shaper tool, which is what I like to use. So this is the Purple 2 now. So this is a very light valued purple that I'm coming in here with. And I'm just gonna add that. Little strokes this way, little dashes and marks that way. Follow the direction of that little beard. I keep calling it a little beard, and I'm so sorry. I really don't no color name, flower part names. I just got done finishing an art haul, my Jerry's Artarama art haul, and I think that will be up before I put this up, although I'm not completely sure. But if it is, I'll definitely be sure to leave it linked up in case you're interested. I'm going to grab, this is the Pansy Violet one. Pansy Violet is just a warm red violet, so keep that in mind. Alright, so I went and I grabbed something to blend with. And if I didn't mention already, this is just a small piece of glassine that I have under my hand here. Now I do like to blend, but I'm not going to over blend this because I actually really do want to get that painterly effect. I want a lot of that pure, those pure strokes of color to show through. And then I'm going to come in, I'm going to work on the little beard. I keep calling it a little beard. I know there's probably going to be somebody in the comments that's going to be like, it's called a blank and blank or whatever it is. So I'm going in the direction that I want it to sweep out. This little, it might be called a beard. Going in the direction to keep those nice painterly strokes. And you can definitely see there's some dust there. So don't worry about it. Don't blow the dust. Never blow the dust. Just leave it there. It'll be fine. And then I'm going to take, and I'm going to mix, I think, some of this like pansy violet color here with some of the other purple. I think this is dioxazine violet pigment here. I'm going to come up with a little bit more of the lighter one. You guys know I'm not good with the names of the parts of the flower. It's not my fault. There we go. This one's a little harder. I don't know why that would be. But anyway, I'm just letting a lot of this, you know, a lot of optical blending happen there. I'm not really overly blending anything out because I want this to look pretty painterly. And following that general theme, I'm going to come in and add just a few strokes of some pure color where I want it. Kind of following the direction of the petals where the veining, you know, might be. The direction of your pastel marks is going to make a difference here, so do keep that in mind. There we go, and I want this dark saturated color, and I'm going to grab a couple little veins toward the center on that one. This is very impressionist, and I'm loving it. I'm really, truly loving it. I don't do enough loose work. I really don't. A lot of artists spend a lot of time learning to do very detailed work, and then they spend a lot of time learning how to loosen up again. There. I like that. Okay, so now for the stem here, I'm going to start working. I'm going to use some of this olive green color. It's just a natural kind of earthy green shade. Try and work on the edge of the pastel to get more of a sharper line. These are great student pastels. And unlike some of the other student brands of pastel, the really great thing about these is that you know that these are pure pigments and that they're light fast. Unlike the Faber Castell box, and I have no idea what's in that. I'm gonna go darker on that and grab another darker variation of that olive green. There we go. Trying not to run into that petal. Okay. And I think I have here, this is like a green-gray shade. Use that to add some shadows into it, to the orchid stem. Trying to get on an edge to get more detail where I feel I need it. There we go. And I think I'm actually gonna take a little tiny bit of burnt sienna. There, I like that. I think that's very lively. I'm gonna take a little bit of the burnt sienna into that. Right, so I went ahead and I topped all that off, and I also kind of blended this out a little bit. Now, I wanted to mention, you can see kind of the strokes of color. You can see how they're going, they're bending in the direction of that stem. Make sure that yours follow that same shape, okay? You want your lines to follow the shape of the object that you're trying to render. Same thing with the petals, you know, I wanted to show that the petal was coming out this way, so they're going in this kind of a windshield wiper motion or direction here, and then kind of trailing off on the little beard there. So just want to mention that again really quick because it is actually important. And if you get any smudges or smears on your paper, and I often do, it's really not a big deal. You can come in with a little piece of Kneaded Gum Eraser. These are not expensive. These cost, I don't know, maybe $1 or $2, but they are incredibly valuable tools to have as an artist. You can just wipe that right up and just pick it up like a piece of silly putty. All right, so now I'm going to come down here to the corner. I'm going to work on this flower here, and I'm going to start with that warm, more red violet shade. Again, use whatever pastels that you have, but I am using the Blick Artist. I think these are a fantastic value, a really good buy. I'm going to also fill in that little circle with this red violet. It's like a wine color kind of. It's really pretty. I'm going to add a little bit here. I want this one to be a little bit warmer, I think, overall in tone versus the other one. A little bit of distinction there. There we go, and go in with that darkest violet again. You can see how if you need to, you can get down on the edge of the pastel to get more control, to get in some of these tighter spaces. Take another purple here. There we go. while since I've done a tutorial on this channel, actually. Well, a more beginner kind of real-time tutorial is what I meant to say. So it's kind of nice to do this again. Let me know down below in the comment section if you guys like these types of videos. I always welcome your feedback. I'm going to come in with this darker one down here for this petal. This petal is way kind of in shadow there. So I want to make sure I show that. There we are. Yeah, you can get some decent details with these, so that's really nice. Like the bottom of that little circle shape in the middle. I'm just breaking the flower down into very, very basic shapes. I'm really simplifying the design a lot to render it in a way that's more loose but also more beginner friendly. So I don't know if you guys would be interested, but I did recently purchase a set of the Winsor & Newton watercolor markers. I'm waiting for those to come, but I will definitely do a haul video on those when they arrive, and I'll probably end up doing a review on my channel on them also. But I'm kind of excited about them, and they are supposed to be light fast, which sort of solves that problem for me. Although I don't think they give you the pigment information, which kind of irritates me. But I don't know if they're going to be any good, but I hear good things about those watercolor markers, so I'm excited to give them a go. I'll definitely let you guys know my honest thoughts on them. But I'm excited for them to come. I really am. I can't wait to try them. Do you guys remember one of my first videos was on those really inexpensive water-based markers from Hobby Lobby? They were like 33 cents a marker or something. Ridiculously inexpensive. And I just thought that was the coolest thing ever. I don't know why. I was like, these are amazing. It's so interesting. Well, I mean, they're not like amazing quality or anything, but I thought they were pretty decent price and a pretty decent product for what they were, at least. Let's take some of this warmer shade. Start from here. Now this petal, I want to make sure that it's separate from the one above it. So how are we going to do that? Let's see. I'm going to take this purple and I'm going to go around there so that it's obvious that that's a separate petal. There we go. Just throwing all the colors in there really at this point. Just having fun. My hands are getting dirty. Oh well. But yeah, I hear amazing things about those Winsor & Newton watercolor markers. I'm super excited to try them because I like alcohol markers, I really do, but I kind of have always enjoyed the water-based markers too, and so that's kind of what these are. Or I guess they're a watercolor marker. I think they use all like the more chemical pigments like phthalo and stuff because they're not going to be as heavy. So they won't clog the nib. At least I'm hoping they won't. Okay, I'm just gonna grab my little color shaper tool and start to blend that out a little bit, very gently. I don't want to over blend anything but I don't want to see the color of the paper anymore. I want to fill that in. And I'm being careful to blend in the direction of the petal. So this one comes out, I'm going to blend around. All right, so I went ahead and I grabbed one pastel pencil. These are great to have if you're serious about your pastel work. You don't have to have this, to be very clear. If you wanted to, you could just go in on the edge of that pastel or a new pastel or something like that, but I do have it, so I'm going to use it. I'm just going to see if I can get a few little lines. At this point, I'm not sure if it's going to stick or not, but I did just want to, there we go. Just get a couple little lines, hopefully to stick on there. I could use a little bit of spray fixative at this point also, if this wasn't sticking quite enough. But I think it's going to be just fine there. I just wanted to get a few lines there. Let's see. So I hope you guys are enjoying the tutorials so far. If you are, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe. It really helps out my channel. Support a smaller channel, help my channel to grow. It would be nice. So I'm just going to add a couple little pure. So you can go in on an edge when you need it, but it is also very nice to have those pastel pencils too, to really help you out sometimes. But you don't, I don't want you to feel like you have to have them, because you don't. There we go. Ooh, I like that. So I'm just letting kind of all this blend on its own, kind of do its own thing. I want a little bit more differentiation. Is that a word? A little bit more definition here between those two petals. But I'm not like super worrying about it, because this is kind of a looser piece. There we go. I like that. Alright, so now for these little shapes here, and I'm really not sure how to describe them, they're kind of like pointed teardrop shapes. I'm just going to take my yellow pastel, and that is covering surprisingly very, very good. So I'm pleased with that. I'm just going to take my yellow pastel and I'm going to add those little teardrops. They're like pointed, very pointy kind of teardrops. And you can see I'm able to get some really decent detail there from that. So I'm pleased with that. Filling the space in between. And I'm going to take that red violet color. I'm going to come around, kind of get that filled in a little bit. Go over with that. This is like a cadmium yellow hue. Certainly not real cadmium. I'm going to just blend that little teardrop shape a little tiny bit because I want like a pinky kind of thing to happen there. And then I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to redefine that because I don't want to lose that shape there in the middle. Really basic, really simple. We're pretty much done. I'm going to come in here, I'm going to work on the little beard shape. I'm just going to pop a little bit of that red violet and a little bit of that other violet in there. A little bit darker on this left-hand side. And then I'm going to let it blend. Oops, that's not the right shade. I'm going to let it fade out to this color. So that's really pretty. Ooh, I like that. And let me see what I want to do on the bottom there. I think I'm going to take my pastel pencil and just kind of go around. This is like a little squish jelly bean shape down here. I'm just going to go around with my little pastel pencil and I'm going to fill in with kind of like a pinky color in the middle. Nothing complicated, super simple, super duper basic there. Oh, that's not right. Yeah, so this purpley color is really close to that. Alrighty, so I tapped that off and now I just want to go in and put in a few finishing touches, some final details with my pencil. Not too many though, because I do want this to remain pretty loose. But I'm just going to redefine the edge a little bit of those little teardrop shapes there. I want to make sure that's obvious that that's what, you know, that it's there. And then I'm going to come around here. I'm just going to add a couple little stripes there. And I think I'll take on the edge of this Blick pastel, I'm going to add a little bit more yellow. So I think that's a really pretty kind of color surprise there. Do some dashes down onto that, and I guess that's where the pollen of the flower is there. I'm going to come around, I'm going to just define this one more time here, redefine that edge there. So make sure I didn't lose it. I just want to make sure I get some pure strokes of color in there because I really like it when I see that here in this artwork. I'm having a hard time getting that pastel out of the box. There we go. So these are the half sticks by them. I'm working with here now. Just going to come out right there. I want to make sure that that's obvious. That's a different petal. Although it might not be super obvious. Oops. Yeah, don't slam your pencils. That's a mistake. They might break inside and then you'll never have a good experience with them ever again, as long as you have them. Learn that the hard way, my friends. Learn that the hard way. Alright, and that pretty much wraps it up for today's tutorial. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. This is how many pastels we used. So not too many, just about a handful or so. I have them in this little palette here. Again, use whatever that supplies that you have. You don't need these exact pastels, but if you were looking for a brand, I really do like the Blick Artist Soft Pastels. I think they're a phenomenal value and really are a great pastel to get you started. There. Yeah, I say I'm done and then I'm still working on it. You guys spend as much time as you want. Absolutely spend as much time as you want on this at home. And if I went too fast for you, feel free to slow the tutorial down. I'm just going to put my artist signature on here. Now you can spray this with fixative if you like. Yeah, I just want to come in and add maybe just a little bit more of this color into this one. Just a little bit right here maybe. as I continue to work on it. Okay, I'm done, I promise. All right, so that really wraps it up for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this tutorial, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos coming in the future. Leave me some comments and suggestions down below on what type of videos that you would like to see next. And as always, have a great day. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.